What is going on, everybody? My name is Will, and you're watching the monthly for July 2018. Let's get started. Well, I hate to say it, but it seems we have a real vandalism problem in this country. On July 22nd, a yacht owned by Education Secretary Betsy DeVos was set adrift from its dock by an unknown vandal. On July 25th, Donald Trump's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame was destroyed by a protester with a pickaxe. And on July 28th, somebody rearranged all of Mike Pence's lawn ornaments. July 15th, France took home its second first-place victory in the history of the World Cup. Every resident of France was so ecstatic that the Mona Lisa lost the rest of the hair on her head. And this is true. Quasimodo stood up straight for once. July 4th marked the anniversary of this country's great story, though if you haven't been paying attention recently, the plot has really jumped the shark this past season. I don't know if it's new writers or what, but they introduced a ton of gimmicky new characters. None of them are even remotely likable. I mean, it's like when Eric left that 70s show or when Michael Scott left The Office. Why even keep the show going without everybody's favorite character? Almost makes you wish they'd just cancel the damn thing already. Moving on to July's story of the month. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm tired of this being a recap show for the new adventures of old histamine. Histamines are actually the chemicals in your immune system that cause you to tear up and itch. Therefore, joke. This month, I could talk about the Michael Cohen recording released on July 24th, confirming Trump's knowledge of various payments to alleged mistresses throughout the 2016 campaign. Or worse yet, on July 27th, when Cohen claimed Trump knew about and approved that secret meeting between his son and Russian officials in Trump Tower, also during the 2016 campaign. I could discuss July 26th, when the Trump White House failed to meet its court-ordered deadline to return separated migrant children to their families, leaving over 700 children still in government custody, with little to no plan on how to get them home. Or I could, of course, talk about July 16th, when Trump met with Putin in Helsinki and chose to trust Putin over his own intelligence agencies that Putin had nothing to do with Russian meddling during the 2016 election, and then proceeded to invite Putin to the White House on July 19th. I could talk about all of those things, but fuck that. Here's how that would have gone. The shady dealings of the Trump camp are so blatantly obvious now that if you're not the slightest bit wary of him, even if you voted for him, well, how's that Kool-Aid taste? Red flavored. Instead, let's discuss one of the craziest stories to ever be overshadowed by Trump. July's story of the month is the Thai cave rescue mission. Remember, this is a feel-good story. No Trump tweet is going to interrupt it. Not even this one from July 7th when Trump tweeted, "Congrats to Justin Bieber on getting engaged. Unless he has said something bad about me in the past, then I give wimpy Justin no congratulations, and I wish he and his sad-looking fiancé nothing but bad times. Bases covered." Now, he didn't really tweet that, but if you think that he wouldn't, you haven't been paying close enough attention. On June 23rd in Thailand, a soccer team made up of 12 boys and one coach went on a team building exercise to explore a nearby cave system. You know, tug of war, trust falls, spelunking, just your classic team building. Trust me, I'd know. I was an RA. I was always taking my residents to check out the hot new caves. The boys ranged in age from 11 to 17, while the coach was just 25, and they'd only planned on staying in the cave for about an hour. But just like a phone call with your grandmother, an hour turned into over 2 weeks. Sorry, Nanny, I love you. I was just talking about other grandmothers. A monsoon struck the area while the boys were exploring, flooding the cave and trapping them inside. The team had no source of light, or any sense of what day it was, or how far they'd gone into the cave. For 10 days, the team survived by drinking the water on the walls of the cave. Yeah, and you just filled out a bad Yelp review because the fucking lettuce in your McDonald's salad was a little brown. And get this, the team name was the Wild Boars. I'm sorry, but if I'm them, there are 12 of us in here and only 11 players on a soccer field. I'm looking at that one kid who doesn't start like he's an actual wild boar after about 24 hours, let alone 10 days. Look, I can make jokes like that because I know how this story ends. If you don't, spoiler alert, Kevin Spacey is Kaiser Soze. Sorry. That's a spoiler from Usual Suspects. What I meant to say was, spoiler alert, Kevin Spacey is attracted to a child. Sorry, again, that's another Spacey spoiler, this time from American Beauty, of course. And also his life? Wow, that movie has not aged well at all. Best Picture, 2000. Spoiler alert, they all make it out unscathed. All 12 and the coach. But before that happens, Thai Navy SEALs, elite British divers, and American mission commanders are brought in to search and strategize. Hundreds of journalists swarm the cave entrance, and even Thai experts on birds' nests are brought in to scour the mountainside in search for alternate entrances. So I guess a college degree in birds' nests is just another degree more useful than a bachelor's in playwriting and screenwriting. Idiot! 10 days in, on July 2nd, the boys were all finally found alive by British divers. And at this point, the rescue team could finally get food, blankets, and medical supplies into the players. And hold up, did you see that kid? Go back. I'm sorry, but can somebody please explain to me why that kid looks better after 10 days of sleeping in dirt and drinking cave sweat than I will on my wedding day? It was also at this point that the kids could start communicating with their parents via written messages delivered by the divers. Almost every single kid understandably requested a home-cooked meal for when they got out, except for one boy who, and this is true, requested KFC. Ugh. You gotta feel bad for the parents of that one kid who, when every other kid requested home cooking, was like, look, I might die, so I'm gonna cut the shit. I want KFC. Grubhub a delivery guy into this cave if you have to. Even though there was now access to the boys, there was still no set plan on how to get them out. Expert cave divers dubbed this cave one of the top 5 most dangerous they'd ever seen, just behind that cave from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Not a speck of light is showing, so the danger must be growing.
And every time a professional went in to bring supplies to the boys, they were risking their own lives. The cave is pitch black, and because of silt in the water, visibility never went further than a foot in front of your face. Worse if more divers were in the water too. Here's a diagram of the cave itself. You'll notice that the boys were located approximately 2.5 miles from the entrance. This section here is the length of 3 Olympic swimming pools, and this section here is incredibly narrow and contains bends like a puzzle. So, to expect teenagers who had never been diving to maneuver through double black diamond obstacles without the ability to see was essentially a death sentence. Another potential option was to keep the kids alive until monsoon season was over, but that would be another 4 months. And even with the food being brought to them by the divers, the kids were already reportedly feeling cold inside the cave, despite the cave being 73 degrees. Physicians believed their bodies would deteriorate too rapidly. Outside the cave, Thai people flocked from all over to feed and support the thousands involved in the rescue operation. Even as every plan was being shut down, the Thai people remained hopeful and came together to be there for one another. Nothing could ruin the pureness of this story. Not even on July 9th, when Trump tweeted, "Tiny LeBron James has said nothing but unkind things about me. It was very unpatriotic of the Los Angeles Lakers to give someone who disrespects their president all that money. There is only one king in this country, and he spells his name M-E. There is no me in James." Now, is that a real tweet? No. But also, yes. A plan was finally greenlit by the Thai government when the suggestion was made to put the boys under with ketamine and bring them out one by one with shifts of divers. Can you imagine falling asleep and waking up 3 hours later, relieved to find out that you'd survived? I call that one phantom thread. The commanders responsible for this mission only anticipated a 60 to 70% success rate, with 3 or 4 casualties expected. And incidentally, those are the same fatality risk statistics involved in every viewing of Phantom Thread, so. A notable side detail, during the days of practice and preparation for the rescue, co-founder and CEO of SpaceX and Tesla, Elon Musk, decided to help in problem-solving the soccer team's escape. Musk and his engineers developed a child-sized submarine for the boys to take turns using to get through the flooding. The problem? The submarine was rigid, unable to go around corners, and was way too big to navigate the cave's narrow passageways. And while Musk and his team celebrated, this man, Vern Unsworth, a cave expert used on the Thai rescue mission, stated publicly that Musk's project had absolutely no chance of working and labeled it a sad PR stunt, while also telling Musk to, quote, "stick his submarine where it hurts." A little harsh, perhaps? Yeah. Funny? Definitely. Luckily, Musk responded to Unsworth's comments with maturity and grace, calling Unsworth a pedophile on Twitter. Yeah, that's real. Calling a guy a pedo when he's trying to save the lives of 12 kids is not this genius's best idea. Though I don't know what else we were supposed to expect from a 47-year-old man who spent millions upon millions of dollars firing a sports car into space to, I don't know, try and convince aliens that he has a tiny dick? Here's the point I'd like to make. On July 10th, after 3 days of dive missions to get the boys one at a time, all 12 players and their coach had been safely removed from the cave and transported to a local hospital. Parents were finally reunited with their children, and one boy even got the thing he'd been praying for the entire time he'd been trapped. That's right, Kentucky Fried Chicken. When you've been that close to death, what have you got to lose? The project was successful, and it was carried out with intelligence, heart, and absolutely no ego whatsoever. If millionaires could cast aside their arrogance for 1 second, they could help to solve real problems in this world. Even Donald Trump tweeted on July 10th, "On behalf of the United States, congratulations to the Thai Navy SEALs and all on the successful rescue of the 12 boys and their coach from the treacherous cave in Thailand. Such a beautiful moment. All freed. Great job." And no tricks this time, he actually did tweet that. Probably the most presidential tweet we've seen in 19 months of his presidency. So, Mr. President, if the world can reunite these families without ego, what's stopping us from reuniting these families? There are still 711 families that remain torn apart by the hands of our government, meaning 1 in 3 have yet to be reunited when all were promised. It's not good enough, and it's still your fault. Give the kids back to their parents. After all, it's not like they're trapped in a cave. That is it for July's episode of The Monthly. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd be so kind as to like, comment, and share, I sure would appreciate it. And stay tuned for August's episode of The Monthly to be uploaded on September 1st. Until then, have a great month.